everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and it's time once again for another video. This time around, it is my April of 2024 movie pickups. I said I wasn't going to be buying too much this month. I think it's time to admit I have an addiction to buying movies. I do love watching movies. I also apparently love buying movies, but I also like getting a deal, and I definitely ran into a bunch of deals this month. So it was sort of a happy collision of coming across some good deals and whatnot, which is the bane of my existence in terms of getting good deals. And just, I don't know. But I'm going to show you what I bought this month, which was supposed to be a very small amount. It actually turned into a very large amount due to a lot of sales. The first place I got some movies was MVD. They had a sale on Severin titles, so I picked up a few that I missed when I ran into the Severin people at Days of the Dead in March. So I picked up 3 titles from them. I picked up Day of the Animals. This I've actually seen before. I love the quote on the back of this. If you haven't seen this movie, it's from, I believe, 1975, 1976. And basically, there's a hole in the ozone layer, and animals go crazy and start killing people. It's basically a sort of another, I don't want to say it's a ripoff of Jaws, but sort of an extension of when animals attack or when environment, nature attacks type of movies. But there's a quote on the back here that says, "It's a batshit crazy groundbreaker, a disturbing sense of 70s pessimism, and in perhaps his greatest role, Leslie Nielsen as the world's biggest asshole." And that is exactly true. Leslie Nielsen is fantastic for all the wrong reasons in this movie, but it is really worth seeing. So if you haven't seen this, you owe it to yourself in some form or fashion to check out Day of the Animals. There's the front, and then here's the back, and there's the quote that I read right there. Has a lot of nice special features, which will be interesting, but I used to own this on DVD. I traded it in a long time ago, but I did a review of this on my old channel for the 1970s Drive-In Spectacular that I did. And I'm thinking about moving some of the old reviews that I did on my old channel to this channel, so you can see how young and skinny I used to be. Some of these videos, some of these reviews are over 10 years old. So you can see how dark my hair used to be and how skinny I used to be, and it's pretty sad. But anyway, Day of the Animals, good movie. This is one that I have seen, but I haven't seen it for a very long time, so it might as well be a blind buy. But it is Dr. Butcher, MD, also known as Zombie Holocaust. I don't remember much about this other than I know I rented it in the 80s, and it's Italian, but I couldn't tell you one thing about it. But I just thought I would pick it up because it's supposed to be ridiculous, and I remember it being ridiculous, but I think we rented it simply because of the title. I remember my friend, he wanted to get one of the most off-the-wall, goriest movies we could possibly find to rent one night, and this is what we ended up on, and I don't remember anything about it. So, and then this I picked up. This is a movie that is also known as Where Time Began. It's Journey to the Center of the Earth. It's an adaptation of Jules Verne's work, Journey to the Center of the Earth. But this looks, it's on the Severin Kid label. I guess it's sort of a fantasy or a family movie, 1977. But I saw the trailer to this, and I just thought it looked really interesting. It looks, I mean, appropriately cheesy, but it looks really, really kind of interesting. Here's the back. So I don't know, I was kind of taken by this, and I wanted to check it out. This is from 1977. I think I said that already. But it is a, oh, I'm probably gonna massacre this guy's name. Juan Piquer Simon, but he's the writer and director of Pieces and Extraterrestrial Visitors, but he did this sort of whimsical kids movie, I guess. So I just thought it looked interesting, so I picked that up. All right, we'll do. So that was MVD. I also got some stuff from Hamilton Book, a very small order. I picked this up. This is the Wishmaster collection. I've only seen the first one of these. This is 1 through 4. Wishmaster, Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies, Wishmaster 3, Beyond the Gates of Hell, and Wishmaster, The Prophecy Fulfilled. And the funny thing is, I didn't really like the first Wishmaster when I saw it, but everybody has been saying that they really enjoyed it. And I saw a clip from one of the Wishmaster movies, and I went, what is that movie from? Or what is that clip from? And it turns out it's one of the Wishmaster movies, and I thought it looked really good. So I'm all about second chances lately, so here we go. I'm gonna give the Wishmaster series a second chance. So, and there's the back. Sorry, I didn't show you. There's the front. And then these next 3 movies I picked up on the recommendation from Kenny, from Kenny's Movie Palace. And they all are, it's a trilogy. It's The Wave, and I believe these are from Sweden, I believe. But I picked these up on his recommendation. He said these were very good action movies, disaster movies. And then I picked up The Quake, and this one came with a lenticular cover. And then the follow-up, The Burning Sea. So I'm going to check these out. I think they were all $4.95, so it wasn't too big of an expense if they stink, but I trust Kenny. All right, and then if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I posted recently about not sleeping on Big Lots. Big Lots has gotten new movies in recently, quite a bit, and I went there twice. I went to 2 different Big Lots and got a bunch of stuff. One of which I posted on Instagram, and one I didn't. So here's the stuff I posted on Instagram. So I got Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, which looked pretty interesting. I like Aubrey Plaza and Anna Kendrick. Adam Devine, Zac Efron, after watching him in Iron Claw, I'm giving him a pass on anything that he's done prior. So I don't know. I thought this looked interesting and kind of funny. So figured I'd give it a shot. And then Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler in The House. And believe it or not, I told you guys a month or so ago that I hadn't seen Aladdin from Disney. I also have never seen The Lion King, and I was able to find The Lion King with a slip at Big Lots. So I picked that up. I haven't seen the live action or the cartoon version. I got this on the strength of the cast. This has Christian Bale, Woody Harrelson, Casey Affleck, Forrest Whitaker, Willem Dafoe, Zoe Saldana, and Sam Shepard. Out of the Furnace. I vaguely remember hearing about this around like 2005, I think, and I'm not going to be able to read that text because, good Lord, is that small. But, yeah. It says one of the best movies of the year, says Richard Roper. But I thought it sounded good, and give it a try. Another Disney movie that I picked up. This one I've seen and really enjoyed. Brave, another Disney Pixar movie. This is funny. I picked this up, and when I got home, my wife said she had watched it on streaming, and she said that it was okay, but I don't know. I thought it looked good. Haven't seen it yet. A Walk in the Woods with Nick Nolte and Robert Redford. And then Blast from My Past, and I've only seen one of these. I think I maybe have seen the second one, but I picked up the Benji movie collection. I know I've seen the first one. I may have seen the second one, but the third one is relatively recent, from 2004. The first one is from 1974. and the second one is from 1977. So those were from, you know, prime time of my childhood. But you know, the other one was from, the third one is Benji Off the Leash from 2004. So I know I haven't seen that one, but for $5, I figured I'd take a shot. And then I picked this up. I already own this movie, but I wanted to get this version of it because this is a Walmart special edition of American Underdog. You can see it's a lot thicker than the regular edition, but it comes with this. It opens up and there's this journal inside. Well, I'm not going to take it out, but you can maybe see it there. It says it's an exclusive journal. I don't know what it is, but this was, I took the price sticker off, but this was only $5. So I figured I'll trade in my other copy and keep that one. That was from the first trip to a store. And then I went to a second location and I picked these up. These I did not post on Instagram. I picked up All Eyes on Me, a movie about Tupac, which I have not seen. This was $6. Another one, another good cast, Rachel Weisz, Tom Wilkinson, and Timothy Spall in Denial. Two-pack, definitely have seen these, Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2. And then I got this, I have this movie, but I don't have the special features, and I don't know if the print I have is as good as this one might be, but this is the Scream Factory release of Mad Max that I figured I would give a shot. So I have a set with Mad Max and the other two Mel Gibson Mad Max movies, but I don't know, I just wanted to check out the special features on this one. So that's the stuff I picked up from Big Lots. So as you can see, there's a lot of cool stuff at Big Lots. So go out and check out your local Big Lots store. All right, next I'll show you the 3 things I got from Amazon this month. Also showed this on Instagram, the King Kong from 1976 4K Steelbook. Comes in a nice protective case that came with it, so I just put the J card inside it. You take, no, it's not the J card, but if you take the plastic sleeve off, you've got Jessica Lange under there. If you check out my Instagram, I'll show you the whole thing on the inside and everything. There's some artwork on the inside, but this has the theatrical and the extended TV cuts, but I think the only the theatrical cut is in 4K. But anyway, I love this movie, and so I wanted to get it. Then picked this one up. This is Dark City. I remember watching this back in the 90s and really enjoying it, so wanted to add this to the collection. I remember there was a lot of debate about this being better than the Matrix before the Matrix came out. This came out a year before the Matrix. I don't know that you can really compare the two. They're totally different types of movies, but this was directed by Alex Proyas, who did The Crow and I, Robot. It's got a great cast: Kiefer Sutherland, Jennifer Connelly, William Hurt, and Rufus Sewell. I cannot say that. My God, what's wrong with me? Anyway, this is the director's cut, which I have not seen because when I saw it, it was on VHS. And then picked up a copy of No Country for Old Men, which is a fantastic movie. The Coen brothers from 2007. Really like this movie. Javier Bardem is fantastic in this. All right, so then let's move on to eBay, where I picked up quite a few things. Picked up Chud 2, Bud the Chud, on the Vestron Collector Series. I've seen this, but it's been a long time, and I remember this is sort of only barely related to the first one. I don't know that there's really, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember much of a connection between the two of these movies, the original Chud and Chud 2, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen it. This I got. Um, this is directed by Andy Milligan. This is released on Code Red. I got this just sort of on out of curiosity because it sounded fantastic. Fantastically bad, I should say. It says cult filmmaker Andy Milligan is best known for extreme, unconvincing gore and the odd habit of making British set costume dramas on location. This one is a gruesome reworking of Tower of London with Jeremy Brooks as the Mad Duke of Norwich, who murders and tortures his competitors to the English throne. The acting is typical of Milligan's films, which is to say horrid, and the bloody highlights include a pitchfork impalement and rattlesnake torture. Advertisements promise that the film was shot in dripping blood color, but the tacky school play costumes and sets do not benefit from this alleged process. You can even see a water tower in the background. But it is Torture Dungeon, which promises to be awful, and I'm looking forward to every minute of it. It's approximately 80 minutes of pure garbage, I'm sure, but yeah, Torture Dungeon by Andy Milligan. Be my first exposure to Andy Milligan. And then I picked up a few things from Groove, I believe. Yeah, these are from Groove. Some notable exceptions from my collection. Ooh, I just noticed that. Got some severe damage to the artwork I did not notice before. That's pretty unfortunate. Anyway, I got Army of Darkness, which I saw in the theater and have seen many times since then. For some reason, I didn't own it. Now I do. Believe it or not, I've never seen the original Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. I'm going to correct that. Believe it or not, I've never seen 8 Mile with Eminem and Kim Basinger, Brittany Murphy, Mekhi Phifer. This is a newer release, Out of Darkness. This was in theaters for a little bit this year. Sort of, I don't want to say a caveman horror film, but it says 45,000 years ago, 6 people search for a new home in an inhospitable landscape. When night falls, hope turns to fear as they realize they are not alone. Stalked by a terrifying enemy, the group fractures as everyone fights for survival. It says gripping Stone Age survivalist horror. So, I don't know. I thought this looked pretty interesting. And then I picked up Arrow's release of The Shootist, which was John Wayne's last film. I remember seeing this several times on TV, but I don't know that I've seen it in its entirety from beginning to end. But I have seen it in bits and pieces on TV. So wanted to get this. This is with John Wayne and Lauren Bacall. Ron Howard is in this. And this was directed by Don Siegel, who did Dirty Harry, which I was not aware of. But glad to have this in the collection. And then last from Groove, I picked up Death Wish. This is the original Death Wish. This is the one that I noticed had some damage to it, which I didn't notice at first. But there's like a, I don't know if you can see it. There's like a slash across the artwork, which is nothing terrible, but I'm just not super happy with it. But for what I paid for it, I'm not going to cry about it, but oh well. All right, so that takes care of everything but Whatnot and the Kino Lorber sale. So I'll do Kino Lorber first. This is where I spent the majority of my money this month. It was a Kino Lorber. So I picked this up. This was with Michael Ironside, Lyle Alzado, and Vanity. I actually watched this one this month, and this is Neon City. This is sort of a stagecoach in the future in a apocalyptic landscape. It's kind of funny, but it's totally cheesy, but they play it serious, but it comes off with just the right, I don't know, it comes across as just the right frame of mind, I guess. I don't know. It's played seriously, but it comes off as being funny, but I don't know. You have to see it. It's very weird to see Michael Ironside play the lead in something. Vanity is not particularly great in this, but this also has Richard Sanders is in this. The guy who played Les Nessman in WKRP in Cincinnati is in this. He plays a comedian named Dickie Devine, and he's kind of funny in it, in a kind of off kilter way. That's kind of the way to describe this movie. It's kind of off kilter, but it was directed by Monty Markham, who's also in it. And I didn't know who he was until I watched the special features. And I've seen Monty Markham in many, many movies. He was on Baywatch, as a matter of fact. So anyway, highly recommend this if you're into sort of dystopian B movies. There's a meme going around that says that Gen X is screwed up because they probably read a Stephen King book way too early in their lifetime. I didn't read any Stephen King when I was young, but I watched movies like this when I was young. This is Hardcore with George C. Scott. I watched this when I was 12 years old. This is not a movie that you should be watching when you're 12 years old. This is a story of a man played by George C. Scott. He's very religious, and his daughter runs away from home, and he goes looking for her in the porn underground of, I think it's Los Angeles, and he comes across all sorts of wacko characters, and he finds the world of snuff films, and he finds a prostitute who helps him locate his daughter. And yeah, it's a Paul Schrader film. Definitely not for kids. But yeah, I watched this when I was 12 years old. And it may explain a lot about my taste in film. I don't know. But it's a very good movie, but I wanted to finally add it to my collection. No judgies. This I purchased at the recommendation of my friend Dan. We were at Days of the Dead, and I ran across a copy of it, but I didn't feel like spending $25 on it. And it did not have a slipcover, but then I found it from Kino Lorber for $10, Theater of Blood with Vincent Price. So I'm looking forward to watching this. I actually ran across a clip of Vincent Price talking about this movie on a talk show back in the 70s, and he was just pretty jazzed about it. He said it was one of the best things that he had done because of the cast. The cast was stellar. To me, I don't recognize a lot of these names. Robert Morley I'd recognize, but Harry Andrews, Coral Brown, Robert Coote, Jack Hawkins, Michael Hordern, Arthur Lowe, Dennis Price, those don't ring any bells, at least at first. So, yeah, I don't know. Looks interesting, though. I really want to dig into this one. I think I might do this one for the Halloween 15. This is a classic from my childhood. This is what I should have been watching instead of Hardcore. This is Dinosaurus from 1960. Directed by Irvin Yeworth Jr. I've seen this many, many times. I actually found this on DVD not too terribly long ago and was pretty jazzed about finding it on DVD. I didn't know it was on Blu-ray, so finding it on Kino Lorber's site for cheap was pretty awesome. I had recently watched the Criterion Collection version of, or the Criterion Collection 1957 edition of 12 Angry Men, and people had recommended that I watch the 1997 version, so I picked that up, directed by William Friedkin. Another stellar cast. I'm really looking forward to watching this. This has Courtney B. Vance, Ossie Davis, George C. Scott, Armin Mueller-Stahl, Dorian Harewood, James Gandolfini, Tony Danza, Jack Lemmon, Hume Cronin, McKelty Williamson, Edward James Olmos, and William Peterson. I think the only one of those people who I don't know is Armin Mueller-Stahl, and I might know him by face, but I don't recognize him on the front. So I don't know. But I am looking forward to watching this. I also picked this up. This is sort of a guilty pleasure of mine. Um, this is Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, the complete series. It's actually the complete collection. It has the series and the movie. I remember going to the theater. I went to the Columbia Theater in Sharon, Pennsylvania to watch Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, the movie. I think that was in 1979. And that was essentially the pilot for the TV series. And then this TV series ran for 2 seasons. And I don't think I've seen every episode, but I watched it as often as I could. So I'm going to get caught up on Buck Rogers with Gil Gerard and Aaron Gray, who I had a huge crush on back in the day, pre-Silver Spoons. So, and then last but not least, this is a re-edition of my collection. This is the Complete Metropolis. I had this in my collection, and I had it with the slipcover, and I'm really pissed that I traded that in or sold it or whatever I did with it. But got this back in my collection. This is an all-time classic, the original Metropolis, and I watched this, I can't remember who it is. There's a YouTuber who does the 24-hour movie challenges, and I did it one year. I think it was 2012, and I watched this during that, and I can't remember what the criteria was for that I included this movie. Maybe it was watch a silent film or something, but yeah, this amazing movie, highly influential, and the special effects, believe it or not, I mean, that's pretty impressive for 1925. I think this is when this came out. 1927, sorry. Yeah, this is just an amazing movie. All right, so we're at 28 minutes, give or take, because I had to stop because my cat was making a hell of a lot of noise. So now is time for all the shit that I picked up from Whatnot, from my favorite seller, and another seller. I did pick some stuff up from another seller, so this isn't all from Elfster Cards, but most of it is. And I'll tell you when I get into that stuff. But I picked this up. I've seen this. This is Lockout with Guy Pearce. I remember enjoying this quite a bit, but I don't remember too terribly much about it. The quote on the front says it's Die Hard meets Blade Runner. I wouldn't go that far. But I do remember Maggie Grace from Lost is in this. And I remember having a good time watching this, but like I said, I don't remember a lot about it other than I enjoyed it. This is a newer release. I have not seen this one yet. This has, what's her face? Sydney Sweeney, Anyone But You, romantic comedy. Haven't seen it yet. This I got out of curiosity. Sound of Freedom. I know this is sort of controversial, but I didn't spend a whole lot of money on it. You know, everybody who sees this says, "Oh, you have to see it. It's an incredible story." And then some people have said that this guy lied about his the truth of what he did, and I don't know. I just want to see the movie and see what it's all about. So, anyway, Sound of Freedom, picked it up. Also picked up Ferrari with Adam Driver. Michael Mann film. I haven't seen a Michael Mann film in quite a while. This I thought looked funny. I saw the trailer for this several times while I went to the movies. I've been going to the movies quite a bit lately, but The Book of Clarence, I thought this looked pretty interesting and possibly very funny. So, picked up Haywire, and I did a review of this back on my old channel too. This is with Gina Carano, Michael Fassbender, Ewan Gregor, Bill Paxton, Channing Tatum, Antonio Banderas, and Michael Douglas. I actually saw an early screening of this, and I thought it was pretty amazing. It's a Steven Soderbergh movie, and I know there's a lot of controversy with Gina Carano, but she's pretty badass in this movie. Also picked this up. This is adding to my recent, I don't know what you'd call it, my recent fascination with buying Disney animated movies lately, but I've seen all 3 of these. My wife is a big fan of The Little Mermaid and Tangled, and we both watched Moana not too long ago, maybe a month ago, and we both really liked it, so I figured I would add these all to the collection. Oh, here's the back if you're interested. And then I picked up, I have not seen this. This is the 4K release of Kung Fu Panda. This is a blind buy. Jack Black is funny, and the fourth one just came out. There has to be at least some merit to the first one if they made 4 of them. So then I picked up these. Alster had some of the steelbooks that had found their way into Walmart, but he had them at half the price, and they're still sealed. So I don't know, it's the glow-in-the-dark version of Battlestar Galactica, the TV pilot, which I remember going to the theater to see with my dad. This was in Sense-Around back in the day. But this is it's just the same as the TV pilot. But yeah, Battlestar Galactica. And then this is a S. Greg Zoller movie that I did not have, but I have seen and really enjoyed. Brawl in Cell Block 99, Vince Vaughn playing a totally not Vince Vaughn-like role, but this is the 4K. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. I thought this was really good. Don Johnson's in this, Jennifer Carpenter, Udo Kier, of all people, is in this. And yeah, I was pretty surprised by this. This is what really got me into being interested in Zoller's movies. So yeah, glad to have this. And then I picked up The Blackening, which I have not seen. Thought it looked kind of funny. I think I paid $8 for this, so that'll be interesting. And then Pride and Glory with Edward Norton and Colin Farrell. I have not seen this. Let me know if it's any good. And then picked up Conan the Barbarian with Jason Momoa. Giving this a second chance. Well, it's a second chance because I had it in my collection and then I got rid of it before I watched it. But I didn't really know anything about Momoa or how good or bad this movie was, and I still don't really know much about it. But I picked it up for $3. So, and then also picked up the original Boondock Saints, which I used to have. Saw a long time ago. I actually saw a cast reunion of these guys at Texas Frightmare Weekend back in 2011 in Dallas. Everybody was there. Norman Reedus, Sean Patrick Flannery, David Della Rocco, and Willem Dafoe was not there. That would have been awesome. But Sean Patrick Flannery, Norman Reedus, David Della Rocco, and I think that's it. Troy Duffy wasn't there, but I think it was just the 3 main guys. But anyway, yeah. So it's Boondock Saints. All right, and then from another seller, I picked up the 4K of Black Hawk Down, which is an excellent movie. It's been over 10 years since I've seen this, so I'm definitely due for a rewatch, but I really enjoyed this when I watched it. And this I have not seen. This is the Steelbook of the Al Yankovic story in 4K. This I'm looking forward to seeing Daniel Radcliffe play Weird Al Yankovic. I know this is absolutely off the wall, but it's the biopic about Weird Al Yankovic that is totally absurd. And then I picked up in 4K Mad Max Fury Road. I'm going to watch this leading up to Furiosa coming out. Interestingly, this does not include a Blu-ray, just the Ultra HD. There you go. So that's it. That's everything I picked up in April. As always, thanks again for tuning in. If you made it this far, thanks again. I appreciate your attention span. I got quite a few new subscribers this month, and I apologize that I didn't really do any reviews this month, but I am going to I'm going to do another video talking about all the movies that I watched, and for the past couple of months, just kind of give you an update on what I've been watching. So stay tuned for that. Take it easy. See ya.